Hi, Stacy here with Limelight AZ. So today was an interesting day. Tonight, an even more interesting night. So I'm going to tell you about it. Today I had one of my best friends of all time visit me. I have only seen, this is only the second time I've seen her since moving back to Arizona. I moved back in, let's see, it was the end of April. And now it's the beginning of August, so 4 months. Um, we had a good visit. Toward the end of the visit, I had the prompting to talk boldly to her about God. So I did, and her behavior was that of a cornered cat. Um, and I promised I wouldn't do it to her again, and I won't. I do think that she was receptive to what I said, but there was no doubt she wanted out as quickly as possible. Obviously, she's not of the same faith as I am, and I'm not going to go into details about what she is. It's irrelevant. And but that was basically the beginning of my day. Um, but I obeyed. God prompted me, and I'm like, okay, let's go with it. And so I talked openly and honestly with her, and prayed for her to be receptive. Is she? I don't know. Well, then, hours later, or no, actually, just after that, interestingly, just after she left, I got a call from a very, very wonderful person, a fellow YouTuber, and I don't think I'm going to put down who, or I'm not going to say who, but she knows who she is. And so that was very exciting. And it was nice getting a surprise call and encouraging word and a little ray of sunshine. Um, and which was really neat and very much encouraging. So that was very different for today, too. Move along to this evening, and decided to do the stinging, of course, because today is my sting day. Went ahead and did stinging. Unfortunately, in the tattoo area, hubby prayed over my back like he did last time when we still had to sting somewhat in the back of my tattoo. That's all coming out jumbled. We stung the tattoo area, part of our stinging portion on, what was it, Friday, was in the tattoo area, and prayed over it, and didn't hardly hurt at all. Tonight, all of the stings were going in the tattoo area, and so we prayed over it, like, okay, well, let's hope that this doesn't hurt like it did the first two times, and that it goes well like it did on Friday. Nope, did not pan out that way at all. It was bad, real bad. It was very, very painful, and it was not letting up. It was basically having my back in a venomous vice. Um, it was not fun. And so tried to ignore it, tried to distract myself. It was so painful I couldn't distract myself by watching anything. And ended up shutting lights off and doing the small little quick video that was the one that I uploaded before this one, talking about the fact that this was not fun. And then just after that video, I'm like, I gotta have something to distract myself. And then I was like, right, let's do music, because it always makes me feel better. So, or at least makes it so that time gets passed faster. One of the weird things before I started the music was I had, first of all, been rocking. I had basically had my arms crossed and was doing this rocking sensation, trying to distract myself from the pain. and had my phone in front of me and looked at my phone. It was 10:22. And I closed my eyes and rocked for what seemed like forever. Forever. And opened my eyes, 10:24. I'm like, oh my gosh. This is going to go on forever. This pain is going to be awful, and it's going to go on forever. Now, interestingly, I would like to also make a side note from that I've been noticing some weird time gap stuff going on with me and I swear last night I had lost time. I don't know what happened. I woke up and it was one time and and I left my phone on last night. I've been shutting it off because I thought it would be helpful not to have the whatever junk that comes from phones. EMFs, is that it? But I left it on last night because I knew that my friend would be coming over this morning, and I didn't want to miss her call if she were to call. So I went ahead and left my phone on. But I woke up last night, and it was one time, and then I went back to sleep. Seemed like a while later, at least an hour later, and I looked at it again, and it was like a half hour earlier than what I had looked at. So I don't know what the deal was with that. There's just some freaky deaky stuff going on with me keeping track of time. But what happened earlier after doing the stinging was just awful because I was in pain and I'm like, it's only been 2 minutes. I cannot believe it's only been 2 minutes. Oh my gosh, I am in so much pain and I don't know. It usually takes at least 4 hours for it to taper off. And I'm like, this was 2 minutes? Like, holy cow, I don't know how I'm going to handle this. Well, decided to turn music on. Had a complete freak out prior to that on my son. Because he came in and I'm like, Ryan, I need you to leave. And him and his nature of not listening was like, but I made you something. And my mommy heart really wanted to look at it, but I was in so much pain and I was just trying to just deal with it. And I'm like, Ryan, I really need you to leave. Please leave. And I start crying and he's like, but mom, and I ended up yelling at him. So he's asleep now. I'm going to have to wait until tomorrow before I can apologize and explain to him that he can't do that. If I ask him to leave, he needs to leave. Anyways, so at that point, after having yelled at my son and feel like the worst mother ever, I decided to listen to music to try to just cope with whatever it was that I was dealing with. I was thinking, man, this is going to be one heck of a herx. It's going to be bad herx. And it was the only thing going through my head was like, this is the beginning of a really bad herx. The next couple of days are going to be awful. So I turned the playlist on that I have started creating for this channel for the music, encouraging music during Lyme battle or something like that. And just started listening to the different songs that I had added to that. And then all of a sudden, as I'm laying there rocking in the dark and listening to this music, then God just starts doing what I call an information dump. He's done it a handful of times through my walk in the last 7 years, and tonight was apparently an information dump time. All the other times that it's happened have been times that I've been very into the Word, and trying to listen to God and whatnot. So it makes sense to me since I've changed my prayer life and have really been attempting to seek after His heart after having a period of a year and a half stagnant walk. So at any rate, just was doing the rocket, and then I started getting this information dump where he's telling me one thing after another. And I'll share a couple of them with you. There was lots of stuff, probably a good close to a dozen of things that he instructed me on, which that's new. He's never given me instructions like this before. It's just, before it was an information dump, like things for me to understand better or things that would be happening. Everything that he sent to me, with the exception of one thing, was instructions. And so that was pretty mind-blowing. I'm speechless. I have felt like I've been really good at listening to God, but for Him just to give me all of these instructions one right after another was pretty fascinating. So let me look at my list of stuff. Like I said, I'm not going to share all of them, but there's some of them that are fine that I feel like I can share. First of all, he instructed me on making sure to do goodnight prayers with the kids prior to doing bee stinging from now on, and to start teaching the children to pray for their future spouse. So that was very important, that I need to teach them not just to pray, but to pray for their future spouse. And that the evening prayers that need to be done on sting nights need to be done prior to doing the stinging, including my prayer that I do out of the sitter. So all of those prayers need to be out of the way and dealt with prior to starting bee venom therapy for that night. The other thing is to have my husband do everything that he needs to do prior to starting bee venom therapy for the night, because I may need his help in the rest of the evening with writing down more instructions or thoughts or whatever it is that God might be dumping on me, because I can't write it down because of my hands. So to have him there ready to be able to write them down as they come to me during my additional prayer, or whatever it was that I was dealing with. I'm not sure what it was. I don't know that it was so much prayer. It was more of me just listening for God, and that rocking, while I'm dealing with the pain, just trying to seek shelter. And so during that, from now on, then my husband needs to be ready for writing stuff down, because I can't write it down right now. So that was kind of interesting to learn that he is instructing my husband to write stuff down for me until I can write it down myself. And so to have all of his stuff squared away and wrapped up and ready to go for bee venom night. Let's see what else. Well, I think most of this I don't need to really share. Sorry, I guess I should have paused it. Oh, get rid of distractions. That's a big one. Get rid of a lot of distractions. So no more TV programs, no more games, the things that aren't conducive to learning about God, and learning His Word. That to no longer do that. If I need to have a distraction, to lean on, I guess, music and prayer, and do what I did tonight with the just deep sheltering from God. So then the one really interesting thing, and I have said this for a really long time, and I have not shared it on this channel, I don't think. I think I may have hinted at it, but because to the wrong people it can sound arrogant, and I don't want to do that, and I don't want it to appear that I'm arrogant, because that's not where it's coming from. It's not coming from ooh, look at how I am functioning and you're not. That's not the case. This is what I feel in my heart of hearts, and I can't deny that. So everybody has a fear. For a good portion of the people out there, their fear is the loss of a loved one, or falling ill, or losing their job, or some sort of really practical thing. For most people, it's losing a loved one. most of the people that you will talk to that have to find out what their single biggest fear is, it's to lose a loved one. I can honestly tell you, I would be devastated at losing a loved one. But my biggest fear is unfulfilled potential, or I should say, God's unfulfilled. How do I word this? I'm getting tired. Not fulfilling God's potential in my life. So basically, unfulfilled potential. And it terrifies me because I do not want to arrive in front of God saying, I didn't do what you wanted me to do. I want to be able to confidently stand there and say, I did everything you told me to do. And I want the adventure of allowing God to direct my life. Unfortunately, that adventure includes Lyme disease right now, and that's not so much fun. But I know that beyond this is something really, really neat. And so, allowing God to take me for a ride that only He can take me on, and allowing Him to use me in whatever way He chooses, even when it doesn't make sense. And so I had a conversation with my friend earlier today, the one that came and visited, and I told her, it's like, not everybody's like that, and that is okay. But that is my biggest fear, is to not fill God's potential in my life. And so tonight, as the rocking, painful, whatever thing was happening, toward the end of this information dump of instructions, this is the one thing that was not an instruction. And it was a visual of the words unfulfilled potential. And so I'm looking at these words. I'm thinking, is this supposed to be a book title? Because I've been thinking about possibly writing a book. What is this? And then next thing I know is water comes rushing in and very slowly drags away those words, unfulfilled potential, and cleanses the area. And so to me, I think this is God saying that my unfulfilled potential is being washed away. And I got the significant impression that now my journey begins. I keep asking God about why I have Lyme disease and what is happening with it, and what is going on. I don't understand why I have been pinned with this right now. And the only thing that kept coming back was journey. It's just a single word, journey. And so now tonight there was this major shift in something. I can't explain what. All I know is I got this information dump of instructions, and part of that was that the journey is now beginning. And I'm like, alrighty, that I'm ready for it. And I'm like, okay, what do you say? So very interesting, very, very interesting stuff. I have had a handful of times where God has talked to me this way. I mean, I'm really good at listening to God and generally following through with instructions, but these information dumps that He's done a handful of times are rare, and but apparently are going to be more frequent because I need to be prepared for them every time I sting now. So, and I don't know that I'll be doing more videos on that in the future. It depends on what God instructs me to do. But for this one, I felt the need to go ahead and upload a video and be like, guess what happened? So, very interesting somewhat terrifying, and very, very exciting. So you just never know what God has planned just around the corner for you if you just are obedient. So we'll see. I hope you have a wonderful evening.